Are you sick of your images not transferring? I mean, seriously, they're supposed to come out like this, with a nice, clean image, fully detailed, transferred onto your gel plate. But sometimes that process just does not work. Have you tried everything and it's still not quite working? In this video, I'm going to help you troubleshoot your laser prints so they come out better when you do image transfers on gel plates. There are so many variables to consider. Try to use some sort of combination of these things. I'll go through all of these in some way or fashion throughout this video. Let's start off first with high contrast. You can do some of this just right in your photo editing app on your phone. I start out with a good quality photo, change it into black and white, and then I go over to black point and I increase it until my blacks are nice and rich. Go over to my highlights and I increase my highlights. I don't like just playing around with contrast. I like having a little bit more control. Contrasty enough, but still has enough detail. And then you just have to experiment. Print out a few in different ways and see which ones work the best for you and based on your printer, and then realize sometimes they're just not going to work. Pretty much in all of these processes, toner is the key. It's what helps make it transfer. You can read about it here. And that's why double printing or running your print through the printer twice adds more toner onto your photo and makes it better for the image transfer. So if you're doing image transfers with black and white images and you've only been able to use high contrast like I've been doing so far, I found a tip. If you printed CMYK, these are the colors that a laser printer or any printer prints out, but you need to use a laser printer. And it lays down more toner than black and white, even though your image is black and white. Printed out CMYK. If you printed CMYK and you don't double print, but you print it super high resolution, and then don't use a brayer when you're applying the photo onto the jelly plate, instead just use your hand to gently press down on it. And I've been getting a lot better results with higher quality images. So if you're not able to double print, just up that resolution and apply gentle pressure as you're doing the image transfer. I don't always get successful pulls. The original image I think was too low resolution. I edited it in Photoshop. I did it CMYK and Halftone. And Halftone, well, what is it? It's little tiny dots that will help you rather than creating a continuous value scale. You use little tiny dots. And it works really great for this process. You can use an app or Photoshop to get it. But as you can see from the image, there's a lot of space in between the dots. But I was still kind of hopeful that it was going to print. So I think a key to making this a little bit more consistent and a little bit more successful is to have higher resolution images to ensure that there's enough information there to work for this process. Now, I tried this print 3 times. The first time I didn't have enough acrylic paint down on for the transfer layer, and the other 2 times we're playing around with the image quality of the photo. Now this is just printed on standard printer paper, so it's relatively thin, and therefore I don't need a brayer to do the image transfer. With slightly thicker paper, you need to use a brayer. So it's all about finding that balance between the amount of pressure that you put on when you're doing the image transfer. Can you make your images too high resolution and have too much toner and completely screw up your printmaking process? Yeah, so you can overcompensate and readjust your images. This image of an interior of a church, I did halftone, CMYK, double printed, but the final result did not print very well, and that is because there's too much toner on the paper. So finding that right balance is a delicate thing. And lastly, I know absolutely nothing about the different types of printers you should use for this because I use the one that I use, a Triumph Adler, and it works great, and I've never trialed other ones. So if you have a printer that works great, leave it in the comments. If you have a printer that is absolutely horrible at this, leave that in the comments so others can look and see, your reviews and what works well and what doesn't work. Overall, I hope this helps you get better transfers. Now I have longer step-by-step tutorials on this whole process from beginning to end, including the reverse image painting. And you could also sign up for my channel membership to get some exclusive content. Just click that join button.